Captain America: Brave New World. I wanted this to be good. I so wanted this to be good. That doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just not very good. It's very mediocre. It's very like The Eternals. The Eternals isn't a bad movie. It's just a mediocre one. It's watchable, but it's just not all that good. It's like that. It's not bad like say Iron Man 2 or Thor: Love and Thunder, which is clearly just a lot of people flailing about wasting resources, bad decisions left and right, and you can just see them. This had me like rewriting it in my head to make it better, and that's never a good sign. Massive spoilers, obviously. Now, the plot of the movie centers around Thunderbolt Ross, the character originated by William Hurt in The Incredible Hulk. Clearly, he wasn't held in such high esteem that he didn't retire the character with his death, which is understandable if you know anything about his personal life. Great actor, not a very good man. Personally, I would have just gotten Sam Elliott back from the first Hulk movie because he was great. And, he's actually 2 years younger than Harrison Ford. And the whole mustache joke would have played off because as Sam Elliott is famous for his mustache. In any case, there's a ton of exposition dropped in the first few minutes of it through like news reports about him becoming president. And in these news reports, we see that Ross was very much held responsible for what Hulk and the Abomination did in Harlem. Yeah, what not one Avenger would say to him, what the movie would not even address in Civil War, is said multiple times throughout this film. In fact, he's called a Hulk Hunter as an insult. I feel this is validation about that crappy contrived script. Anyway, he managed to get out from under it by blaming Samuel Stearns for creating the Abomination. Okay, it would have made more sense if the previous administration had taken the blame for the snap, given the Accords happened under their watch and broke up the Avengers, who they needed to save them. But this is what I mean about me rewriting the movie as I'm going along. So Ross wants Sam to restart the Avengers working for him because he's trying to change. He's trying to make the world a better place to atone for the things he's done. That little shading of death that they wouldn't give him in Civil War to make Steve Rogers look better. Seriously, this is such validation for me. Oh yeah, I forgot the adamantium. Adamantium is found on the Celestial's body from the Eternals. We'll mention it again, but rather than try to claim it, Ross wants to sign a treaty with India and Japan and America, and they are going to share it and share it with the world. Like I said, it's a major plot of this point in this movie that he is trying to change. It just could have been done better. It needed more shades of gray, like a gray Hulk. Joke, sorry. In fact, the first action sequence of the film is Sam recovering adamantium that was stolen from the Japanese, stolen by Sidewinder, the Serpent Society, or the Serpent Group in this film. They aren't a bunch of snake-based supervillains. Instead, they're like an evil Black Ops mercenary group. In any case, Sam recovering it gets him an invite to the White House for the signing of the treaty, and he insists on bringing Isaiah Bradley. Oh, Carl Lumbly is so good as Isaiah Bradley. The pain and anguish he plays in this role in just a small part. He's so good. I will go to my grave saying the reason Don Cheadle got nominated for an Emmy for The Falcon and Winter Soldier, where he was in it for 5 minutes over Carl Lumbly, who did an amazing job, is because old white Emmy voters couldn't tell him apart, and they weren't the guy they knew. Speaking of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, one of the great things about that is that they addressed how, even though he was a superhero, Sam still faces discrimination. And I get the feeling that Marvel was like, yeah, it was great you did it on this series, but this is a movie, broad general audience, and we're trying to make that money. So, on one hand, I do love the fact that he's just immediately accepted his Cap. Everyone just calls him Cap. Everyone believes in him, and he's just like unquestioned in his heroism. On the other hand, the part of me is going, I don't think so. In the comic, it was done very well. When Sam is on Captain America, even though Steve has come back and is de-aged and just says, no, keep the shield, keep going, a group of old white men don't like it and start a campaign called Restore the Shield and Not My Cap. They say, oh, it's not about race. And we know it is. I could have used a bit of that. Sam having to like prove himself with certain people. It would have lent more to the fact that he felt some kind of empathy for Ross trying to change his ways, even though everyone in the movie is saying, do not trust Ross. In fact, there is a conversation where Torres, the new Falcon, is talking to Sam about how he looked up to Sam as the Falcon because he seemed to just be perfect, always on time, always on point. And then Sam talks about the pressure to be perfect all the time. And that is so racially coded. I don't know what to tell you. All minorities know you have to do twice as well to get half as much. And Torres also says how he looked to him as an example to get out of Miami, suggesting that he was also dealing with problems being a minority in America. But again, Marvel was like, not in our big movie. Now, as all geeks know, Samuel Stern is in fact the leader in Marvel Comics. He was exposed to gamma rays, but instead of becoming big and strong, he got a big head and a big brain and became known as the leader. He was played by Tim Blake Nelson in The Incredible Hulk, and his performance is probably the high point of that movie. And we see him get a cut on his head, and then Bruce Banner's blood drips into it, and we see the transformation again, and he's smiling because he loved the Hulk. He thought he was beautiful. I wish they'd had more of that crazy performance here for this movie, which is in a weird way kind of like a sequel to The Incredible Hulk.
I can fix this.
What we find out is that once Ross found out what the blood did to him, he gave him more gamma radiation to make him smarter, and then, in fact, had him working for him as a prisoner, designing weapons, making plans, what have you. And his thing is that he can predict things to a percentage point. He can just map out things. And everything we've seen so far, he planned. He set everything up. The adamantium theft, its recovery by Sam, that Sam would take Isaiah to the White House, turning Isaiah and others into assassins to pretend to seemingly try to kill the president, but he didn't want that because he was setting other things up. All of this is just one big plan that he's setting up. The reason is Ross said that once I get elected president, I'll let you go. And as the movie tells us, this is it's happening at the end of Ross's 100 days, and clearly he has not let him go, and he ain't happy. And again, this is when I started rewriting the film in my head to make it better, because it would have been so much more interesting to find out that the reason Ross got elected was because he was campaigning on the leader's calculations. This would truly underscore his hatred for Ross, because he got the man elected and he still won't let him go. Also, the leader says that at one point Sam surprises him because his calculations didn't predict he would get that far. This would have been great. See, the thing about writing a genius plan is that a lot of writers just aren't smart enough to do it. I'm thinking Morrison and Priest write super genius plans for super geniuses, and then but they also underscore that this super genius is out of his mind, and that's part of his downfall. And he's also massively egotistical. It would have been great for Sam to continuously beat the leader's plans because he doesn't think that an ordinary guy is going to beat him because he doesn't have the super soldier serum. But even this ordinary guy is still Captain America. That would have been great, but that's not what happens. Now, the other reason Ross was going to the leader was because of his heart problem, which was mentioned in both Civil War and The Black Widow. He was, in fact, dying, and the leader comes up with something to save him, these little pills, giving him gamma radiation, which brings me to the thing I think kind of doomed it from the beginning, Red Hulk. Now, I'm the first to criticize movies from running from the utter silliness that is comics. Let the costumes be bright. Let them have a kid sidekick. Let them have a superpowered pet. But Red Hulk is a bridge too far for me because to me, even in the comics, it was stupid. He turns red, he gets hot. But even in the comics, it was at least kind of like a big dumb summer blockbuster movie you would watch. Turn your brain off and watch the punching. Ed McGuinness art, Jeff Loeb writing. It was very silly. It was enjoyable, but at least there was some suspense because no one knew who the Red Hulk was. I don't even think the team knew who the Red Hulk was. I think they settled on Ross. But there's no suspense here because it's literally part of the ad campaign. I know how hard it is to keep a secret here. When you've got to talk to the toy people, you have to talk to your tie-ins with Burger King or whatever. But you could have tried. You could have at least tried. Again, there's like 12 people who want to see the Red Hulk on screen, so there would have been there would have been a lot of people looking for it. They did a pretty good job of keeping the other two Spider-Man out of No Way Home, even though everyone kind of knew. At the same time, no one knew. So they could have done it if they tried. But speaking of the Red Hulk, that fight with Sam is stupid. I know you got to have your big superhero fight at the end, but it's particularly dumb, and this is why. Early in the film, Ross says to Sam how he's trying to atone and be better so he can reunite with Betty, who's still not talking to him. 16 years, she's still not talking to him. And he talks about how he used to take her for walks in the cherry blossoms in Washington. So when he finally becomes the Red Hulk at the White House and is destroying it, Sam says he's going to lead him over there and then tries to talk him down for 2 seconds. Then they just start going at it. He's using all the weapons in the suit's arsenal until finally he just both get blown up, and he's like, "Oh, I thought I get him. Did I knock him out?" But then the Red Hulk gets up again, and then he starts talking to him, and he calms down. Why would he calm down now? You've enraged him with nonstop attacks. He's more likely to calm down without you fighting him than after this big fight. It would have made more sense if the fight between Sam and Ross was all had occurred on the way to the cherry blossoms. Sam's trying to lead him there while trying to stay alive. It's taking everything he can to stay alive to lead him there. And when they get there, he's on his last legs. The suit's ripped up. His arm's broken. He's bleeding. But once they're there, the plan works and Ross calms down. The way they do it now is stupid. It's insultingly stupid. Oh my God. Professional adults saw this and it didn't occur to any of them. It was like, no, no. And speaking of the suit, it does a little too much work for him in this movie. He might as well have been wearing a suit of armor. He might as well have been Iron Patriot for all the work this suit does for him in this movie. And it looks bad. It almost looks like bulky plastic. I'm sorry, you signed up to be a superhero. That means you eat the boiled chicken, you get down to 2% body fat, and you wear a costume so tight you can barely breathe. You don't like it? Go do a play. But speaking of the Red Hulk, that fight with Sam is stupid. I know you got to have your big superhero fight at the end, but it's particularly dumb, and this is why. Early in the film, Ross says to Sam how he's trying to atone and be better so he can reunite with Betty, who's still not talking to him. 16 years, she's still not talking to him. And he talks about how he used to take her for walks in the cherry blossoms in Washington. So when he finally becomes the Red Hulk at the White House and is destroying it, Sam says he's going to lead him over there and then tries to talk him down for 2 seconds. Then they just start going at it. He's using all the weapons in the suit's arsenal until finally he just both get blown up and he's like, oh, I thought I'd get him. Did I knock him out? But then the Red Hulk gets up again and then he starts talking to him and he calms down. Why would he calm down now? You've enraged him with nonstop attacks. He's more likely to calm down without you fighting him than after this big fight. It would have made more sense if the fight between Sam and Ross had occurred on the way to the cherry blossoms. Sam's trying to lead him there while trying to stay alive. It's taking everything he can to stay alive to lead him there. And when they get there, he's on his last legs. The suit's ripped up. His arm's broken. He's bleeding. But once they're there, the plan works and Ross calms down. The way they do it now is stupid. It's insultingly stupid. Oh my God. Professional adults saw this and it didn't occur to any of them. It was like, no, no. But again, it's not that it's particularly bad. It's just not particularly good. Everyone does a good job. They've all committed to their roles. I wish they'd let Tim Blake Nelson off the chain to be more of the crazy person he was in The Incredible Hulk. And this was before he got any gamma. And again, remember, he loved the Hulk. He thought what Bruce Banner became was beautiful. So when he was getting it in his brain, he was smiling. Let him enjoy being the leader. Let him enjoy his plan of revenge against Ross. Here, he's just kind of like a downbeat guy with a grudge. Let him enjoy his maniacal plans. Giancarlo Esposito, I think, is kind of wasted. He's barely in it. But his fight with Sam is my favorite fight because it's just two guys going at it. No CGI, no jets, no Hulk. Though I did like when Sam did kind of like surf a missile when he's fighting the jets. That got me. Now, it's no surprise that Bucky shows up. But here we have another problem with the writing for me. Torres is injured in the fight with the Jets, and Sam is feeling enormous guilt. He's talking to Bucky. He's regretting, why did I take this on? I should have taken the serum. I could have saved more people. And Bucky's trying to explain, look, Steve took the serum, but he couldn't save everybody. I'm like, yeah, finish it. The parallel is obvious. Say it, but he doesn't. What Bucky should have said was, as the partner who fell, it wasn't Steve's fault, and I always told him that. And this is not your fault either, Sam. But no, they don't say that at all. And apparently Bucky's running for Congress. Okay, I don't know where they're going with that. But in the comics, it was actually Sam who ran for Congress until he revealed his history with mental illness and becoming Snap Wilson drug dealing pimp, which again was retconned away. He never was that. Red Skull just made him think that. For those concerned, Sabra is not an operative of the Israeli government in this movie. She's a former Black Widow who is working for Ross. And that's it. But the actress, is she even 5 feet tall? She looks like a child in these scenes. She's so short. It just kills it for me. And her fight scene doesn't work at all. In fact, all the fight scenes are kind of questionable for me. It's a lot of, I flip and I kick, I flip and I kick. Capoeira, I guess. What they should have used was like the more military-oriented martial arts, like you see that Tom Cruise uses at the end of Jack Reacher in that fight. Pretty good one. Because again, Sam does not have the super soldier serum, but he has military training. That's how he would fight. In fact, in the fight scene with Giancarlo Esposito, at one point, Esposito says to him, "You're not the same with all your tricks." And Sam says, "No, I'm meaner," then kicks him through a windshield. Give me that. Sam needed an elevator scene. Oh, remember Layla, who I talked about in the comics? Her job was basically just to be an angry black woman. She's in this. She's a Secret Service agent who's working for Ross. I mean, it's a little weird seeing Layla working for the man, but still, I'm glad they remembered her, and she and Sam seem to like have kind of a connection or had a thing in the movie, and I like that they included that. So yeah, not good, but not the worst either. It's watchable. Like, when the Internals comes on TV, I don't turn the channel. I don't think it's that good, but it's passable to have on the background. I'll probably buy it when it comes out on DVD because I want the deleted scenes, like that military funeral we see in the trailer. Who is going to die? I thought they were going to kill Isaiah. Both those probably Ross, until someone at Marvel said, "What? We got Harrison Ford." No, 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 no. Keep him around. We're going to bring him back for some other stuff. Oh, obviously Betty shows up at the end to reconcile. 16 years to get Liv Tyler back in this. Oh my God. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that this was originally intended as an Incredible Hulk sequel that they shoved Captain America into. It does kind of feel like that at times. Um, yeah, I look forward to watching it again on cable in a year, probably in a double feature with the Incredible Hulk. They would go together well because the Incredible Hulk is a movie that is not good that I do enjoy watching.